Don't move. Keep your hands where I can see them.
Officer, this is my driveway. I'm loading my own vehicle.
You don't load bags like that unless you're up to something. Who do you think you are?
I'm a homeowner. I haven't committed a crime.
You're escalating this for no reason. Don't tell me how to do my job. Turn around. Now!
Officer Derek Wolf thought he knew exactly what he was looking at. Black male, nice neighborhood, loading bags into an SUV. In his mind, the equation was simple: burglary in progress. He had made dozens of stops just like this one over his 9-year career, approaching black men in upscale areas with his hand already resting on his weapon, his assumptions already hardened into certainty, never questioned, never challenged, never wrong in his own estimation. But when he pulled his patrol car to the curb on Ridgewood Drive on that bright Saturday morning and approached the man loading tactical gear into the back of a black Tahoe, he made the worst mistake of his career. Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Smith wasn't burglarizing anyone's home. He was a 16-year Navy SEAL veteran with 3 combat deployments to Afghanistan and Iraq, a Bronze Star recipient, a Purple Heart holder, an elite warrior who had served his country in the most dangerous conditions imaginable, who had led men into combat and brought them home alive, who had sacrificed years of his life protecting the freedoms that every American enjoys. And he was loading his own gear into his own car in front of his own house. The house he had purchased 3 years ago, after his promotion to senior chief. The house where he lived with his wife, Denise, a middle school principal, and their 2 children. The house in the neighborhood where he paid property taxes, mowed his lawn, and waved to neighbors who respected him as both a military hero and a good man. But Officer Wolf didn't see any of that. He saw skin color and made his judgment. He saw a black man where a black man supposedly didn't belong and decided that was enough. What he didn't realize, what he couldn't have anticipated, was that his body camera was recording everything. Every assumption, every dismissal, every moment of the unlawful arrest that followed. The footage would become the centerpiece of a federal civil rights lawsuit that would cost the city of Riverside $875,000 and end Wolf's career in disgrace. Officer Derek Wolf had been with the Riverside Police Department for 9 years, building what his supervisors called an impressive record of proactive policing. He was known for making stops that other officers might hesitate on, for patrolling upscale neighborhoods with particular vigilance, for trusting his instincts about who belonged and who didn't. His arrest numbers were solid. His supervisors praised his initiative. On paper, he was exactly the kind of officer the department wanted on the streets. But beneath that polished reputation lay a pattern that should have ended his career years earlier. 11 formal complaints had been filed against Wolf over 7 years. 11 separate incidents where citizens alleged racial profiling, harassment, and discriminatory enforcement. The complaints told a consistent story. Wolf targeting black men in affluent neighborhoods, demanding identification without cause, treating lawful presence as inherently suspicious. A black real estate agent showing homes to clients. A black contractor arriving for a scheduled job. A black teenager walking home from a friend's house. Each one stopped. Each one questioned. Each one made to feel like a criminal for existing in spaces Wolf believed they didn't belong. Every single complaint had been dismissed or resulted in nothing more than minor counseling. Internal affairs investigations that went nowhere. Supervisors who accepted Wolf's explanations without scrutiny, a department culture that praised aggressive enforcement without examining who bore the brunt of that aggression. The data was damning for anyone willing to look. Over the past 3 years alone, Wolf had conducted 47 stops of black individuals in Riverside's wealthier neighborhoods. Not one had resulted in a legitimate arrest. Not one had uncovered actual criminal activity. 47 innocent people detained, questioned, and humiliated based on nothing but skin color and neighborhood. But no one had looked. No one had connected the dots. No one had stopped Derek Wolf before he encountered Marcus Smith. Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Smith had spent 16 years serving the United States of America in ways most citizens could never imagine. He had enlisted in the Navy at 19, driven by a desire to challenge himself and serve something greater. He survived the brutal selection process for basic underwater demolition, SEAL training, a program with an 80% attrition rate, and earned his Trident, joining the most elite special operations force in the world. 3 combat deployments followed: Afghanistan, Iraq, operations he still couldn't discuss, missions that remained classified, nights spent in hostile territory where a single mistake meant death. He had led teams into firefights, made split-second decisions under impossible pressure, and brought his men home alive. His Bronze Star recognized exceptional valor in combat. His Purple Heart marked the price he had paid, shrapnel wounds from an IED that still ached when the weather changed. Now 41, Marcus had transitioned to an instructor role at the Naval Special Warfare Training Facility 30 miles from Riverside. He was shaping the next generation of SEALs, passing on hard-won knowledge to young warriors who would carry the burden after him. It was demanding work, but it allowed him something he had rarely experienced in his career: stability. His wife Denise had stood beside him through every deployment, every missed birthday, every sleepless night, wondering if the knock at the door would bring a chaplain in dress whites. She was a middle school principal now, respected in the community, devoted to her students. Their children, Marcus Jr., 12, and Aaliyah, 9, were thriving in Riverside's excellent schools. 3 years ago, after Marcus's promotion to senior chief, they had purchased their home in Ridgewood Estates, a 4-bedroom house with a 2-car garage, a backyard where the kids could play, a neighborhood where they felt safe. They had earned it. Every sacrifice, every deployment, every year of service had led to this, a piece of the American dream. Marcus Smith had fought for his country in the most dangerous places on earth. He never expected the greatest threat to his dignity would come in his own driveway. The Saturday morning had dawned clear and bright, late spring sunshine warming the quiet streets of Ridgewood Estates. The temperature sat at a comfortable 72 degrees, the kind of perfect weather that brought neighbors out to wash cars and tend gardens. Sprinklers hissed on manicured lawns. Birds sang in the mature oak trees that lined the sidewalks. It was peaceful, suburban, safe. Marcus Smith had been awake since 5:30 a.m., his body still running on military time despite the weekend. He had a 2-week training exercise starting Monday at the Naval Special Warfare Facility, and he needed to pack his gear. Denise had taken the kids to her mother's house for the weekend, giving Marcus time to prepare without distraction. By 9:15 a.m., he was in his driveway loading the black Tahoe, sea bag with uniforms, tactical equipment cases, his worn pair of jungle boots that had seen 3 deployments, a garment bag holding his dress uniform for an awards ceremony scheduled at the end of the exercise. His Navy SEAL trident, the gold insignia that marked him as one of America's elite warriors, was clearly visible on the jacket hanging in the back seat. Military stickers adorned the rear window. A SEAL trident decal, a veteran emblem, a small American flag. Anyone who looked could see exactly who Marcus Smith was and what he represented. At 9:23 a.m., a 911 call was placed from a blocked number. The caller, voice calm and matter-of-fact, reported a suspicious black male possibly burglarizing a house on Ridgewood Drive. No specific address, no description of clothing. No details about what made the activity suspicious. Just race and assumption wrapped in the language of concern. The dispatcher asked clarifying questions. What is he doing that seems suspicious? Can you describe what he's wearing? What house specifically? The caller provided nothing useful, just kept repeating, black male, loading bags, doesn't look like he belongs. The call was logged. A unit was dispatched. Officer Derek Wolf, already patrolling 2 streets away, responded immediately. Wolf's patrol car turned onto Ridgewood Drive at 9:27 a.m., his body camera already activated and recording. The late morning sun hung bright in a cloudless sky, flooding the street with perfect natural light. Every detail would be captured in sharp clarity: the green lawns, the stately homes, and the black man standing at the rear of a Tahoe in the driveway of 4127 Ridgewood Drive. Marcus was placing the last bag into the trunk when he heard the engine. He glanced over his shoulder and saw the patrol car slowing, then stopping directly in front of his house. His trained instincts registered the situation immediately. He had dealt with law enforcement countless times in his career: military police, base security, federal agents during classified operations. He knew how to handle himself. He turned to face the officer, keeping his hands visible, his posture non-threatening. 16 years of operating in hostile environments had taught him the value of calm. Wolf exited his vehicle with his hand already resting on his holstered weapon. His body camera captured his approach quick, aggressive, his footsteps heavy on the asphalt. The camera recorded his view. Marcus standing by the open trunk, wearing a gray navy t-shirt and khaki shorts, his muscular build evident, his expression composed. "Step away from the vehicle," Wolf commanded, his voice loud enough for neighbors to hear. "Put your hands where I can see them. Now." Marcus complied immediately, raising his hands to shoulder height and taking 2 slow steps back from the Tahoe. His movements were deliberate, controlled, designed to de-escalate. The body camera captured every moment in the unforgiving daylight. "Officer, I'm Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Smith, United States Navy," Marcus said, his voice steady and clear. "This is my house. I'm loading my car. I live here." He gestured slowly toward the front door, toward the house numbers clearly visible beside it, toward his entire life sitting in plain view. Wolf's camera recorded his response, a dismissive shake of his head, his hand still on his weapon, his posture unchanged. "Sure you do." Marcus kept his hands raised, his years of training overriding the anger building in his chest. "My wallet is in my back pocket," he said calmly. "I have my military ID and my driver's license. The license shows this address. Can I reach for it slowly?" Wolf nodded curtly, his hand still hovering near his weapon. His body camera recorded Marcus's deliberate movement, reaching back with 2 fingers, extracting a worn leather wallet, opening it with practiced care. Marcus held out his military identification card, the official Department of Defense credential that identified him as Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus A. Smith, United States Navy. Wolf glanced at it for less than 2 seconds. His camera captured his own dismissive gesture, his hand waving the ID away like it was worthless. "Anyone can buy these online," Wolf said flatly. "Doesn't prove anything." Marcus's jaw tightened, but his voice remained level. "Then look at my driver's license." He held it out, the California license clearly displaying his photo, his name, and his address. 4127 Ridgewood Drive, Riverside, California. The same numbers visible on the house directly behind him. Wolf barely looked. His body camera recorded, his eyes flicking to the license and away again, his mind already made up. Evidence irrelevant. "For all I know, that's fake too," Wolf said. "We got a call about someone casing this neighborhood, loading bags into a car. Looks like burglary to me." "Casing the neighborhood?" Marcus repeated, disbelief breaking through his composure. "Officer, I've lived here for 3 years. I'm a Navy SEAL. I'm packing for a training exercise. My gear," he gestured toward the open trunk, toward the military equipment in plain view, toward the Trident decal on the window, "should make that obvious." "What's obvious?" Wolf cut him off, stepping closer. "Is that you're getting defensive. Innocent people don't get defensive." Marcus took a breath. "Remain calm. Don't escalate." The training that had kept him alive in combat zones now applied to his own driveway. He had seen situations spiral out of control. He had watched men die because someone lost their composure. He would not give this officer any excuse. At 9:34 a.m., a second patrol car arrived. Officer Tanya Reeves stepped out, her own body camera activated and recording. Her footage would provide the second angle, a wider view showing Marcus's house behind him, the military stickers on his vehicle, Wolf's aggressive stance. Reeves approached slowly, her expression shifting as she took in the scene. Her camera captured what Wolf's missed: the homeowner's calm demeanor, the visible military insignia, the complete absence of anything resembling criminal activity. "Derek," she said quietly, stepping beside her colleague, "what's the situation?" "Got a burglary call," Wolf replied, not taking his eyes off Marcus. "He claims he lives here. I'm not buying it." Reeves's camera recorded her glancing at the house, at the car, at the military ID still in Marcus's outstretched hand. Her footage captured her own discomfort, the slight furrow of her brow, the way she shifted her weight, the hesitation before she spoke. "Did you verify the address?" she asked carefully. "I don't need to verify anything," Wolf snapped. "I know what I'm looking at." Reeves said nothing more. But her body camera recorded everything, including her own silence when she should have spoken up. Wolf had heard enough. His mind was made up the moment he pulled onto Ridgewood Drive. And nothing. Not military IDs, not driver's licenses, not the obvious truth standing right in front of him would change it. "Turn around," he ordered, reaching for his handcuffs. "Hands behind your back." Marcus stared at him in disbelief. "You're arresting me? For what?" "Suspicious activity and failure to comply with a lawful order." The words came out rehearsed, bureaucratic, the language of authority wielded without justification. "I've complied with every order you've given," Marcus said, his voice rising for the first time. "I've shown you identification. I've answered your questions. I've done everything right. What law have I broken?" Wolf stepped forward, handcuffs open. "Turn around, now, last warning." Marcus looked at Reeves, whose camera captured the plea in his eyes, the silent request for intervention, for someone to stop this madness. She looked away. Her footage recorded her own shoes, her own shame, her own failure to act. Marcus turned slowly, placing his hands behind his back. As the metal closed around his wrists, the click captured on both body cameras, he spoke directly into Wolf's lens, his voice steady despite everything. "My name is Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Anthony Smith. Service number 8-472-96153. United States Navy, 16 years of service. My address is 4127 Ridgewood Drive, Riverside, California, the house directly behind me. I am being arrested without probable cause, without evidence of any crime, in my own driveway. I am asserting my Fourth Amendment rights. This arrest is unlawful." The statement was precise, deliberate. The words of a man trained to document, to record, to survive. Neighbors had begun emerging from their homes. Wolf's camera captured them gathering on lawns, faces, showing confusion, concern, and growing anger. A white man in his 60s strode across the street, his posture military rigid, his expression furious. "What the hell is going on here?" he demanded. "Sir, step back," Wolf warned. "This is police business. I'm Colonel Richard Hayes, United States Marine Corps, retired." The man shot back, his voice carrying the authority of 30 years in uniform. "And that man you're handcuffing is my neighbor, a Navy SEAL, a goddamn war hero. He lives here. What are you doing?" "Sir, I won't ask again. I've known Marcus Smith for 3 years, Hayes continued, ignoring the warning. "He's loaded that car a dozen times for training exercises. Everyone on this street knows him. What possible reason do you have for this?" Wolf's camera recorded his jaw tightening, his face flushing. He had no answer. He offered none. At 9:52 a.m., a silver Honda Accord turned onto Ridgewood Drive. Reeves's camera captured the car slowing, then stopping abruptly in the middle of the street. Denise Smith stepped out, her face shifting from confusion to horror in a single heartbeat. "Marcus?" Her voice cracked. "Marcus!" She ran toward the driveway, her footsteps captured on audio, her breathing ragged. Reeves stepped into her path, hands raised. "Ma'am, please stay back." "That's my husband," Denise screamed, the sound piercing through both body camera microphones. "That's my house! What are you doing? Why is he in handcuffs?" She pulled out her phone, hands shaking violently, and began dialing. Both cameras captured her frantic voice as she reached someone, a lawyer, a family member, the beginnings of the storm that would follow. "They're arresting Marcus," she sobbed. "In our driveway. Please, please come. Please help us." The patrol car pulled into the Riverside Police Department at 10:17 a.m. Wolf's body camera recorded the journey, 25 minutes of silence. Marcus sitting in the back seat with his hands cuffed behind him, his face turned toward the window, revealing nothing. The camera captured glimpses of his expression in the rearview mirror, controlled, composed, the mask of a man trained to endure far worse than this. Inside the station, Marcus was led to the booking area. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, harsh and unforgiving after the morning sunshine. Wolf's camera recorded him removing the handcuffs, Marcus's wrists showing red marks where the metal had pressed too tight. The booking officer was a woman in her 40s named Patricia Delgado. She had processed hundreds of arrests over her 15-year career: drug dealers, drunk drivers, domestic abusers. She had seen everything. But when she ran Marcus Smith's information through the system, her fingers stopped moving. "No criminal record," she said slowly, reading the screen. "Not even a traffic ticket." She kept scrolling. Her expression shifted. "Military service verified. Active duty, United States Navy. Senior Chief Petty Officer." She looked up at Wolf, then at Marcus, then back at the screen. "Bronze Star. Purple Heart. Current assignment. Naval Special Warfare Training Command." The booking area went quiet. Delgado's voice dropped. "Homeowner at 4127 Ridgewood Drive. 3 years at that address. Property tax records confirmed." She turned to face Wolf directly, her camera angle capturing his profile, the color draining from his face, the realization beginning to dawn. "Derek," she said carefully, "what exactly did this man do?" Wolf's camera recorded his own hesitation, his mouth opening and closing without sound. 20 minutes later, Sergeant William Patterson arrived to review the body camera footage. He commandeered a small office, pulled up Wolf's recording on a monitor, and watched in silence. Reeves's footage played next, providing the second angle. The station's security cameras, mounted in the hallway outside, captured Patterson, emerging after 45 minutes. His face was ashen. He found Wolf in the break room. The hallway camera recorded their conversation through the glass window, no audio, but the body language spoke volumes. Patterson leaning in close, his finger jabbing toward Wolf's chest. Wolf stepping back, hands raised defensively, shaking his head. Patterson's final gesture. A sharp point toward the exit, unmistakable in its meaning. The security footage captured Patterson's words through the glass, lip-readable by experts who would later analyze the tape. "This is a problem. A big goddamn problem." Marcus Smith sat in a holding cell for 4 hours. No charges were filed, no paperwork was processed. At 2:23 p.m., Sergeant Patterson personally escorted him to the front desk, where Denise waited with red-rimmed eyes and a civil rights attorney already on speakerphone. "You're free to go," Patterson said quietly, unable to meet Marcus's eyes. We're sorry for the inconvenience." Inconvenience. The word hung in the air like an insult. Marcus said nothing. He took his wife's hand, walked through the front doors into the afternoon sunlight, and began planning his response. Marcus Smith made his first call from the parking lot of the Riverside Police Department. His commanding officer, Captain David Jones, answered on the second ring. "Sir, I need to report an incident," Marcus said, his voice flat, controlled. "I was just arrested at my home, held for 4 hours, no charges. I have reason to believe it was racial profiling." Captain Jones listened in silence as Marcus recounted the morning's events. When Marcus finished, Jones's response was immediate. "I'm contacting JAG," he said, "today. This doesn't stand." The Navy's Judge Advocate General's Corps opened an inquiry within 48 hours. Military attorneys reviewed the circumstances, documented Marcus's account, and reached a conclusion that surprised no one who had seen the footage. A decorated senior enlisted member had been subjected to unlawful arrest while engaged in official preparation for duty. The Navy took care of its own. But Marcus wanted more than military intervention. He wanted accountability. The JAG attorneys connected him with Patricia Okonkwo, a civilian civil rights lawyer whose reputation preceded her. Okonkwo had spent 18 years litigating police misconduct cases across California. She had won settlements totaling over $12 million. She had brought down officers, exposed departments, and forced reforms that changed how entire cities approached policing. When she heard Marcus's story, she cleared her calendar. "First thing we need is the footage," she told Marcus during their initial meeting, her office walls lined with framed newspaper articles about her victories. "Their own cameras will tell us everything." Okonkwo filed a Freedom of Information Act request the following morning. She demanded all body camera recordings from the incident, all dispatch records related to the anonymous 911 call, and the complete complaint history for Officer Derek Wolf. The city stalled. Okonkwo pushed. Deadlines were cited, legal pressure applied. 3 weeks later, a hard drive arrived at her office containing 47 gigabytes of video files and a spreadsheet of internal affairs records that the department had clearly hoped would never see daylight. What she found was damning beyond expectation. Officer Derek Wolf had conducted 47 documented stops of black individuals in Riverside's affluent neighborhoods over the past 3 years. 47 separate incidents where he had approached, detained, and questioned black men and women based on nothing more than their presence in spaces he deemed inappropriate. Not a single stop had resulted in a legitimate arrest. Not one had uncovered actual criminal activity. 47 innocent people, doctors, lawyers, contractors, visitors, residents, humiliated and traumatized because of the color of their skin. Okonkwo spread the records across her conference table. The pattern undeniable. They knew, she said quietly. They had to know, and they did nothing. The federal civil rights lawsuit was filed 8 weeks after Marcus Smith's arrest. Smith v. City of Riverside, Officer Derek Wolf. The complaint landed like a thunderclap, its allegations methodical and devastating. Fourth Amendment violation. Unlawful seizure without probable cause or reasonable suspicion. False arrest. Detention and handcuffing without legal justification. Racial profiling. Discriminatory enforcement based solely on race. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Conduct so outrageous that no civilized society should tolerate it. The complaint named Wolf, individually, and the city of Riverside for its failure to train, supervise, and discipline an officer with a documented pattern of discriminatory conduct. The depositions began 4 months later. Patricia Okonkwo had spent decades perfecting the art of letting officers destroy themselves with their own words, their own footage, their own inability to justify the unjustifiable. Wolf's body camera footage was played on a large monitor in the conference room. His own lens had captured everything in the bright morning sunlight. Marcus's military ID held out for inspection. The Department of Defense seal clearly visible. The words United States Navy legible even on the small screen. Agent Wolf, Okonkwo said, pausing the video at the 2-second mark where Wolf glanced at and dismissed the ID. You testified that you couldn't verify this identification, but your own camera shows you looking directly at it. Can you read what it says? Wolf shifted in his seat. I saw it. And what did it say? Silence. It identified Mr. Smith as a senior chief petty officer in the United States Navy, didn't it? I thought it might be fake. Based on what evidence? More silence. His attorney leaned in to whisper something. Wolf shook his head. I've seen fake IDs before. Have you ever seen a fake Department of Defense military identification card? No answer. Officer Reeves's footage was played next, the wider angle showing Marcus's house directly behind him, the military stickers on his vehicle, the complete absence of any criminal activity. Her camera had also captured something else. Her own quiet suggestion to Wolf. Did you verify the address? Her recorded voice asked. I don't need to verify anything, Wolf's voice responded. I know what I'm looking at. Okonkwo let the words hang in the room. Then came the pattern evidence. 47 stops displayed on a timeline, each one documented with dates, locations, and outcomes. A. Exposed. Black individuals in nice neighborhoods, stopped without cause, released without charges, their dignity stripped away by an officer who faced no consequences. The city's attorneys watched the evidence accumulate like a verdict already written. They had seen enough lawsuits to know when a case was unwinnable. This one had been lost the moment Wolf activated his body camera. The city of Riverside's legal team knew they were facing a disaster. They had seen the body camera footage. They had reviewed the pattern evidence. They had watched Patricia Okonkwo dismantle Officer Wolf's justifications in depositions, leaving nothing but stammered non-answers and damning silence. And they had imagined with growing dread what a jury would see when that footage played on courtroom monitors. 12 ordinary citizens watching a decorated Navy SEAL, a Bronze Star recipient, a man who had bled for his country, being handcuffed in his own driveway, his military ID dismissed, his driver's license ignored, his dignity stripped away while neighbors watched in horror and his wife sobbed in the street. No jury in America would side with the city. The only question was how much the verdict would cost. Settlement negotiations began 6 months after the lawsuit was filed. The city's initial offer was insulting $150,000, barely enough to cover attorney fees. Okonkwo rejected it without counteroffering. They came back with $300,000, rejected, $500,000, rejected. They're not understanding what they're facing, Okonkwo told Marcus during a strategy session. A jury won't just compensate you. They'll punish the city. They'll send a message. We could be looking at 7 figures, plus punitive damages. The city's attorneys understood eventually. Their final offer arrived on a Thursday afternoon, $875,000, plus comprehensive departmental reforms. No admission of liability, they never admit liability, but the settlement terms told their own story. Marcus accepted. The money mattered less than what came with it. Officer Derek Wolf was terminated within 72 hours of the settlement announcement. 9 years on the force, 11 ignored complaints, 47 discriminatory stops, all of it ending not with accountability from within, but with external pressure the department could no longer resist. He would never wear a badge again. Officer Tanya Reeves received a formal reprimand and was transferred to records management, a desk assignment far from the streets where her silence had enabled Wolf's abuse. She lasted 3 months before submitting her resignation. In her exit interview, captured in departmental records that would later become public, she admitted the truth she had avoided. That Saturday morning, "I knew it was wrong," she said. "I knew he was targeting that man because he was black, and I didn't say anything. I can't live with that. I can't wear this uniform knowing what I let happen." The mandatory reforms were extensive. New protocols requiring residency verification before any arrest at a private residence, enhanced bias training with quarterly assessments and accountability metrics, an independent civilian oversight board with full subpoena power to investigate complaints, the teeth that internal affairs had always lacked. The Riverside Police Department would never operate the same way again. The cost of protecting Derek Wolf had finally come due. Marcus Smith could have taken his settlement and disappeared. He could have returned to his life, his family, his career, his quiet street in Ridgewood Estates, and let the system move on without him. Many victims did exactly that, exhausted by the process, eager to forget. But Marcus had spent 16 years running toward danger, not away from it. He wasn't about to stop now. 3 weeks after the settlement was announced, he appeared before the Riverside City Council. The chamber was packed journalists, activists, community members, and fellow veterans who had heard about his case and traveled from across the state to show support. Television cameras lined the back wall. Marcus wore his dress uniform, every ribbon and medal displayed on his chest. The trident gleamed under the fluorescent lights. He stood at the podium and spoke without notes, his voice carrying the same steady authority that had led men through combat. "I have served this country for 16 years, he began. "I have been shot at by enemies overseas. I have lost friends in combat. I have sacrificed time with my family, missed my children's birthdays, spent holidays in places I can't name, doing things I can't discuss. I did all of this willingly, proudly, because I believed in what this country stands for." He paused, letting the silence settle. "And then I was handcuffed in my own driveway because a police officer saw a black man in a nice neighborhood and decided I didn't belong. My military ID meant nothing. My service meant nothing. My home, my family, my sacrifices, none of it mattered. To Officer Wolf, I was just another suspicious black male." The council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "This isn't just about me," Marcus continued. "It's about every black veteran who comes home from serving their country only to be treated like a criminal in their own community. It's about every black professional who gets stopped for driving a nice car or walking in the wrong neighborhood. It's about a system that protects officers like Derek Wolf until outside pressure forces accountability." He announced the creation of the Warriors for Justice Foundation that same night. Funded by a significant portion of his settlement, the organization would provide free legal resources to veterans facing discrimination, connecting them with attorneys, documenting patterns of abuse, ensuring that those who served their country could fight back when their country failed them. Marcus returned to his duties at the Naval Special Warfare Training Command, but his role had expanded. He now led a new module on civil rights and community relations, teaching the next generation of SEALs not just how to operate in hostile territory abroad, but how to navigate a society that too often treated them as threats at home. "You will face enemies overseas," he told each new class, his voice firm. "But some of you will face different enemies here. Know your rights. Document everything. And never let anyone convince you that your service doesn't matter." The body camera footage from that Saturday morning became required viewing at the Riverside Police Academy. Every new recruit watched Wolf's dismissal of Marcus's credentials, watched Reeves's silence, watched a decorated hero treated like a suspect. The lesson was explicit. Assumptions destroy careers, bias costs taxpayers, and body cameras capture everything. Marcus Smith had fought for his country across 3 continents. In the end, his most important battle was won in his own driveway, and its impact would be felt for generations. Senior Chief Petty Officer Marcus Smith gave 16 years of his life to the United States of America, 3 combat deployments to the most dangerous places on Earth, a Bronze Star for exceptional valor under fire, a Purple Heart for wounds, sustained defending the freedoms that every American holds dear. He led men into battle and brought them home alive. He missed birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays so that others could celebrate theirs in peace. He sacrificed in ways that most citizens will never understand and asked for nothing in return but the chance to live quietly with his family in the country he had served. His reward for that service? Handcuffed in his own driveway on a Saturday morning because Officer Derek Wolf saw a black man in a nice neighborhood and decided he didn't belong. His military ID was dismissed as fake. His driver's license was ignored. His credentials, his combat decorations, his 16 years of sacrifice, all of it rendered meaningless by an officer who had already made up his mind the moment he turned onto Ridgewood Drive. But Officer Wolf made one critical mistake. He activated his body camera. Every dismissive word was recorded. Every aggressive gesture was captured. Every moment of Marcus Smith's calm compliance and Wolf's baseless escalation was preserved in high-definition video with crystal-clear audio. The very device meant to protect officers from false accusations became the evidence that exposed the truth. That truth cost the city of Riverside $875,000. It cost Derek Wolf his career, his badge, and his reputation. It forced a police department to implement reforms it had resisted for years. And it gave Marcus Smith a platform to fight for every veteran who has ever come home from war, only to be treated like a criminal in their own community. The body camera footage didn't lie. It never does. This case was disturbing, but the one on the right ends in a way no one expects.